Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 17th of December. Now it's 1 o'clock Moscow time, middle of the day. And yes, yeah, let's make one more video and talk about the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets. There is several topics that I like to talk about, and I hope you find it interesting. So yeah, in order to make this video short, I'll start straight away. Here we have, I did open already a few media outlets, and first news is that, Putin did had a meeting with Russian military leaders. He visited headquarters of Russian Special Military Operation and asked generals, including General Surovikin, who is a leading man in this special military operation. So Putin asked those generals to give him detailed information about their plans, and this is important because, as you probably know, if you are familiar with my videos, that I did predict, like already months ago, I did predict that we may see some huge change in Russian political and military leadership. I was anticipating even change of prime minister or entire government. And I still won't be surprised if that happened. More than that, I still think that next prime minister and next president could be Dmitry Rogozin, former head of Roscosmos. But when it comes to particular this news, it's interesting because next week Putin will have a meeting with the so-called Big State Council, and he will probably deliver some strong messages there. And in this particular instance, my anticipation is that we may learn from Putin, or maybe a little bit earlier, before he makes his speech before this council, that some significant changes are planned or already done in political and military leadership. And what I mean by that is that we may see changes in general staff of Russian armed forces. We may see changes in defense ministry, and this, I'm talking about possible retirement of Gerasimov from head of general staff, and I'm talking about retirement of Shoigu as the defense minister. And not just this, there may be some other names too that will leave office. So that's quite big, man. So this meeting with generals may have some link with the planned on next week meeting between Putin and this big state council. On that meeting, we may hear about we may hear about next wave of mobilization too. Even though Putin himself, like few times, already did deny that he is planning to order yet another wave of mobilization. It's for me at least, it's obvious that in order to conduct some large-scale offensive operations, Russia does need at least 300,000 to 500,000 soldiers, additional soldiers. Even though I'm not military expert, I do love history. I do read as much as I can about some different military conflicts, and after all, I did spend years and years in journalism, and my experience is telling me that in order to conduct successful offensive operations, Russia still needs additional 300 to 500,000 soldiers minimum. So we may learn about new wave of mobilization next week, or if not, then sometime in future we will definitely see new wave of mobilization. So that's when it comes to this information, man. Let's go and check out some. Yes, in addition, man, I will say that when it comes to changes in Russian political and military leadership, we had some rumors in Russia. I mean, in different social networks, particularly on Telegram channels. There was some rumors that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov may retire too. You know, so we may learn about that in next week. You know, maybe from Putin himself when he delivers his speech before big state council, or maybe in some different ways, but we will probably learn about this too in near future. So let's go and check some other news that are making headlines. This is Lenta.ru. Here we have information that head of parliament of Crimean Autonomic Republic, Vladimir Konstantinov, said in interview with RIA Novosti news agency that Ukraine don't even have a chance to conduct offensive operation in direction of Crimea. So who knows, man? Who knows? After Russian retreat from Kiev region, Chernigov region, Sumy, Kharkov region, after recent retreat from Kherson region, I mean, it's hard to be sure anymore that there will be no more retreats from anywhere, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. Right now, I don't see how Ukraine may conduct offensive operation directly on Crimea Peninsula, but if you are familiar with my videos, you probably know that I did made prediction that I did say in my videos many times that Western elites may, with active use of their assets in Russian political and military leadership, will not just may, but definitely will continue to sabotage Russia's special military operation, and they may manage somehow from inside, from within of Russia. I mean, with active use of those corrupt Russian elites, to organize yet another retreat of Russian forces from Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, from Energodar city, from Melitopol city, even from Berdyansk, for example. So I would not be surprised if this kind of developments will occur, but same time I'm giving you my reasoning why I think that is possible. And in my videos, I did talk about Western goals in this particular situation with Ukraine and Russia. Because as I understand, Western elites are not interested in defeating Russia. Right now, they are probably interested in regime change in Russia because they want Russia to be used as a main theater of war against China. They won't use Russia against China, that's all. So that they will receive lesser heat from China. That's why they see Western elites see Russia as a main theater of battle with the future battle with China, because everyone understands, man. Real uh, alternative force to the Western domination is not Russia, man, but it's China. China right now is not strong enough, but China is rising, and Western elites, are, obviously have some fear that they're gonna lose their dominance over this world. So they have to take out China one way or another, and they will do anything, to achieve their goals. So yeah, man. I mean, yet again, I mean, time will tell. But let's talk about news. Man. Here, this is RBK News Agency. Here we have information that on Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, Russian side start building some defensive protective dome against drones and shrapnels. Because, as you know, Zelensky's Nazi regime are shelling this power plant almost on daily basis. So Russian side will construct some kind of dome over the certain areas of the power plant to protect most vulnerable places. What else, man? What else? This is it probably, and of course I have to talk about. Yesterday's missile strike. As you know, yesterday Russian side conducted another missile strike against infrastructure and against logistic infrastructure of Zelensky's Nazi regime. Russian side did not give us information about number of missiles that was launched, or about results of that missile strike, but Ukrainian side did talk about 98 missiles, and of course probably you are familiar what Ukrainian side is saying all the time, that they did shut down like 90% of missiles or 95% of missiles. Of course that is not serious, man, because it's not even funny, man, when they are saying that Russian side launched, for example, 98 missiles. They did shut down like 95%, and then some 15 to 20 infrastructure facilities was damaged. I mean, how, for God's sake, man? If you shut down so many missiles, then who did damage those logistic facilities, So yeah, I mean, I cannot confirm in any way how many missiles did Russia launch, but it seems like it was a lot anyway, Zelensky's regime is saying about 98 launches. Anyway, man, this is it for now, probably. If we if I see some interesting news in Russian media outlets, or if there is some interesting developments, I may do some second video today. If not, then see you tomorrow. Take care.